SpongeBob was, and still kind of is, a very beloved show to many, especially me. It's been one of my childhood shows growing up. But another thing I loved from the show is the games that came out of it. Battle for Bikini Bottom was my first SpongeBob game, and the first video game I've ever played. With anything popular, people are definitely going to make fan games. So I decided, why not go ahead and get some fan games to cover, and have it be this video. Well, let's get started with the first game. So the first game we're looking at is Sponge Drake 3D. Pretty much a Doom Engine fan game. Pretty much made in Doom. So it's supposed to basically be like Uncharted and Sonic Unleashed. At least I think it's story elements. Or at least according to the description. The control's okay for the most part. I may have slipped off and died a few times trying to record this. And be sure to save your game because once you die in the tutorial, you pretty much can't respawn. So I go through the tutorial and talk to Sandy, who needs 3 tools. I found one of them just on a building. I help the fish get his son's ball back to get a handsaw, and Plankton refused to give me a hammer, so I went back to Sandy, who murdered him with a garbage bag, essentially. So the tools are gathered, and we go ahead on a voyage in Sandy's ship. Patrick just runs up, and that's like the only time we ever see him in this game. So the ship gets attacked by Big Chungus, and this may be the first boss, and I'm kind of horrible in some shooters, but this boss can be a bit brutal. Thankfully, I had to save for the next hub world, so I explored a bit and found something. Never mind then. But the hub world is actually where I got stuck, surprisingly. So that's Sponge Drake 3D. It's pretty good, so I recommend you give it a shot. Now this next game is pretty fun, mainly because this is pretty much Call of Duty Zombies, except it's SpongeBob. I'll admit, this one I really got hooked, and the footage kind of shows a little bit. It's got everything you'd expect from the Zombies game mode, like power-ups, viable weapons, plus ammo, and the vending machines which need power to function. The zombies are instead anchovies, which I think is a very nice touch. There's one hanging anchovy, and shooting it gives you 69 points, which is odd. The only thing I wish it had was background music. Like, I played 115 and some Doom music while playing that, and stuff really pumped me up to kill some zombies. Other than that, this is pretty much Call of Duty Zombies, just SpongeBob. The next one we have is SpongeBob SquarePants: The Lost Krabby Patty. I'll admit, it may look a little awkward, but to be honest, this game is actually pretty solid. Although, the only thing is, it doesn't have minigames. But it's pretty much an overall solid platformer. You play as SpongeBob, Patrick, FBI agent Chris Hansen? And you're basically trying to find the golden Krabby Patty, which Plankton currently has hostage. But after like 7 levels, you pretty much get the golden Krabby Patty, and that's the game. Give this one a go, though. The next game on our list is SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge, but in Scratch. And it is pretty janky. It's supposed to be like the GBA and PS1 game, as I can tell by the model, which is probably from the PS1 port. But it controls weird. I don't really know how to describe the controls, but there's like a couple levels in the game, and I got out of bounds in this level, and yeah, this one is okay. It's short, but I'll give it what it needs. Anyways, that's all the games I feel like covering today. Anyways, see ya.